Good afternoon. How are you today? My name is Dana Demara, and you have landed on Astrocast. Normally, I keep these podcasts just for the new and the full moon, but I wanted to record one for Venus retrograde because I feel like Venus retrograde is so important. Not only that, but since the Gemini full moon on the 18th of December, we're now experiencing almost like a cascade of astrological events that are carrying or ushering us into 2022. So you may or may not be feeling this. If you're not, don't go looking for it. I always say just feel into it. And definitely, I may give some inspiration or some invitations to how to use this energy, but never ever put something on hold that's important. If it's really important, just use your inner heart compass. Okay. So I want to share some dates and some information with you. So here we go. Um, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling this energy completely, and I wanted to get this out on the 19th, but just had to take a little bit of a rest. So Gemini full moon was the very first moment of activation of this new energy coming in. And then we have Venus retrograde that happened on December 19th. Now, when Venus goes into retrograde, it's a really powerful, powerful energy, and it asks us to look at our relationships. But there's other things happening that are really important to note. Okay, so if you want to write it down, you can. Winter solstice, which is also a very, it's a turn of the wheel. I like to say it's this turn of energy where we are experiencing the darkest day of the year. And we really want to drop into our hearts and go internal, and everything in the world asks us to not do that, right? So the energy of the cosmos and of Mother Earth wants us to go in. So I tend to listen to her a little bit more. And then after the winter solstice, we've got Venus conjuncting Pluto. And I'm going to go over that because it's important to understand this relationship between Venus and Pluto in order to understand the retrograde. So Venus is going to conjunct Pluto on Christmas Day, okay, January 25th. And the first time this happened was 12/11, okay, December 11th. So make mental note of that. And then it's going to happen again on March 3rd of 2022. And not only on March 3rd, 2022 is Venus going to conjunct Pluto, but Mars is going to sit with them too. And so this is huge because it's really the divine feminine and sacred masculine trying to come into balance in every way, shape, and form. And then Venus, another date to note, Venus is going to conjunct the sun on January 9th. I'm going to get all these dates to you right away so you can have them and I don't forget, at 18 degrees. So as Venus goes into retrograde, she's got 40 days and 40 nights to kind of go through this process. And I'll talk about it in a second. Midway through on January 9th, she will conjunct the sun, which is really the beginning of a new cycle for her. And so again, that's at 18 degrees. And there's a lot of energy at these 18 and 27 degrees. And 8 plus 1 is 9. 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 is the number of new beginnings. It's the last digit in the single digit numerology. It's new beginnings. So we're really driving this idea of new beginnings home. Okay. And then Venus will go direct on January 29th of 2022. Okay. So those are the dates that you want to keep in mind. All right. So here's how to use this energy. First thing I want to talk about is Venus in retrograde. Okay. So first of all, Venus is pretty amazing. Venus represents love, abundance, financial flow, what you value, really how you love from your heart. So Venus is about love, about exponential love. Okay. And when Venus goes into retrograde, which she does about every 18 months or so, basically what happens is in the sky is she just gets closer and closer to the horizon until you just don't see her anymore. And the reason we do this, or any planet really goes into retrograde, is for us to dive into that energy from a deeper place. And Venus is about love, financial flow, abundance, relationships. So when Venus goes into retrograde, she's asking us to look at all of those pieces of ourselves. Now, there's a beautiful myth about Venus retrograde. It's about the myth of the goddess Inanna. And the goddess Inanna travels down to the underworld. So this really is about going into the underworld, into the cave of our hearts and our truest heart desires. And so the myth says that when Venus goes into the underworld to meet her sister Ereshkigal, she has to travel through 7 gates. Okay, so she goes through these 7 gates to get there. And at each gate, and there's a huge story behind it, and at each gate, she has to let go of something dear to her, right? So at one gate, she lets go of her crown. At another, it's her jewels. At another, it's her beautiful velvet robe. So basically, when she gets to Ereshkigal, her sister, right, at the base of the underworld, she is naked, she is open, she is vulnerable. She is this emanating being of who she really is underneath everything. And the day that she meets Ereshkigal, there's, again, a whole story around this, right? She loses herself. She dies, right? But she doesn't really die. It's her ego death. So remember that. As Venus travels to the underworld, as Inanna travels to the underworld to meet her sister, her shadow self, she lets go of her ego, okay? And as she meets her, that's right in the middle, right in the center of her retrograde cycle. And then as she starts to move back up to the world, being who she is, she becomes this light, right? And so the story of Inanna encapsulates our own journey to our own heart. And so whenever Venus is going into retrograde, and this is where we want to focus, we want to look at all of the ways that we let our ego get in front of us. We want to look at all the ways where we allow ourselves to be swayed by outside sources. We want to look at our shadow self. We want to embrace all of the pieces of who we are and remember that we are whole to begin with, and we needn't really change anything. And at the same time, we can allow ourselves to open up from the heart just a little bit deeper to understand our role in the world. So Venus will retrograde in the same sign, same 5 signs for 100 years. So she kind of stays in the same cycles. And she makes this beautiful sacred geometry as she does this. It's tattooed on my arm because I love it so much. And she takes 8 years to do these different cycles, right? So here she is in Capricorn. She retrograded in Capricorn last time, December 2013 to January 2014, another date to make a little note about, because you want to ask yourself, what was I doing at that time? What lessons was I learning? What was I really working through? Am I repeating some of these patterns, right? Which ones do I want to let go of? This is beautiful. And when Venus is in Capricorn, it's amazing because she feels supported, right? Capricorn is very sturdy, very strong, very like steadfast, one step at a time, like boom, 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 like this is the way we're going. So Venus feels supported here. She feels seen here, but she's also conjuncting Pluto. I'm going to put my glasses on again so I can look at that date. I don't want to mess any dates up. So December 25th, 6 days after she retrogrades, she meets Pluto. Okay, now Pluto is about empowerment, power struggles. Pluto is about creating boundaries. Pluto is about getting to the pit of the matter. Pluto wants you to go deep. Pluto was one of those planets that was involved in the major conjunction on January 12th of 2020. So Pluto wants you to go deep. It's such a small planet, and yet it just has so much energy. And so Pluto's been in Capricorn since 2008. So this is about, and he's not leaving anytime soon, by the way. I think it's like 2023. But Pluto and Venus conjunct each other really, especially when Venus is going into retrograde, really represents the ego death and asking ourselves, not just how playing by the rules and working hard and having discipline will get us to where we want to go, but really what's at the base of our heart. Like, what is it that we truly, truly desire in every moment? Pluto isn't concerned about how you're going to get there. Pluto doesn't care. Pluto wants to know how you feel in your heart. Pluto wants to know what's true for you at the base of how you put yourself out there. Pluto wants to know the truth of what we desire. So it's kind of like Saturn. Saturn's like, I want the truth. Pluto's the same way, right? So when Pluto and Venus conjunct each other during the retrograde cycle in the sign of Capricorn, this is about love, money, partnerships, career choices, especially around your career choices. It's about creating strong boundaries to maintain that inner peace for yourself. It's about setting limits, not limitations, setting limits so that you can really ask yourself, what is at my heart's truest desires, and where have I been blocking that, or where have I evolved past that? Not like the moment before was wrong or you were doing something incorrectly, but now remember, life doesn't move. Life is not a linear event, even though we've been taught it's a linear event. It's a spiral event. So we're consistently evolving and growing, and we're learning things as we go. So now we're at this shift. We're at this shift and change. Okay. Couple things we want to look at when Venus conjunct Pluto while Venus is in retrograde. One is, how are you spending your time and who are you spending it with? And is it fulfilling the true you? Like, are you really fulfilled? Because if you're not, now's the time to make the shift. Now, don't jump off a proverbial cliff, but be in a space of really trying to master and understand what is truly vital and important for your well-being. What is trivial and non-essential, get rid of it. No more compromising. No more saying to yourself, well, I'll do this for now until such and such, because until such and such may not happen. And it was never guaranteed anyways. But now it's like this huge beam of light is saying, where have you been compromising? Because time's ticking and we want you to live to your highest expression. So hard work, discipline is all the things that make Capricorn Capricorn, but Pluto doesn't care about that. Pluto wants to know how you are going to empower yourself to live from a place of love and only love. Okay. I think that's it for that bit. The other thing I want to share with you is when Venus conjunct Pluto and when Venus retrogrades. In fact, the day that Venus retrograde went into retrograde, Chiron went direct. Now, Chiron is the sacred warrior, the sacred healer. And there's a myth about Chiron too, that Chiron, travels the world forever and never really finds healing, right? I like to think that Chiron experiences healing in as many moments as possible, but has to remember that he's already whole and perfect as he is, right? So again, spiral living. So Chiron went direct on the day that Venus went into retrograde. And so now you've got this energy that is not only asking you, like, what is it that you truly desire? But hey, guess what? If you really choose what it is that you truly desire and start valuing your time and your energy and your effort, you will experience deep healing. So be in this mindset, or this heart set, I should say. Trying to, anytime I use the word mind, mindset, mind, whatever, I'm try to switch it out for heart. Be in this heart set, this alignment of asking yourself, where can I find true healing? And it doesn't have, here's a hint, it doesn't have anything to do with what you're going to do in the world. Oh, we think we have to do so much. And we are here to serve. We absolutely are. But in this moment in time, I would ask yourself, like, what is it that I can give to myself, of myself, to heal? And where can I empower myself from these old ideals that I've become accustomed to, of not enoughness, or needing to prove or compromise or wait my turn, right? Like, there is no waiting your turn. You were born with a birthright for excellence and love and connection. And just because you merely exist makes you worthy. Just because you merely exist makes you worthy. Isn't that great? I have all these great notes. I'm going to just take a look at. Oh, yes. Peel yourself away. I love this visual. Peel yourself away from what's old. Like, you can feel it. If you tap into your energy and you feel like around certain people or certain spaces or situations, if you feel that, like, or you feel constricted, that was supposed to be constricted. If you feel that sense of constriction, it's time to kind of go, not so much. Peel yourself away, create that energetic boundary, right? Create that energetic boundary, and then just allow yourself to find that sense of inner peace. Okay. There's so much here. I have a, yes, the purpose of Venus retrograde, and I think I mentioned this before, but the purpose of Venus retrograde always is to get you back into your heart, to get you out of the mind and into the heart. And I just had a conversation with a dear friend of mine this morning, and it's recognizing when you're responding from a place of wisdom or reacting from a place of fear. You want to respond from a place of wisdom, and the only way to find that space, that response from a place of wisdom, is to drop into the heart. That's it. It's the only way. There's no spreadsheet, there's no timeline, there's no like writing it out. It's just a feeling. And there's no mistake that Venus retrogrades for 40 days and 40 nights. It's really biblical, if you will. So I have some mantras for you. If you want to use them, please feel free to use them. Ready? These are so good. And remember, when I give these to you, we're using the I am statement, right? I am is the highest form of vibrational frequency. The I am statement will create your life. So whatever you use after the words I am, you're creating. Okay, so be mindful of that. I know I have fallen off the wagon many times, and then I want to go, ooh. So here's a few. Ready? I am choosing the resonance that aligns with my deepest heart's desire. I'm choosing the resonance that aligns with my deepest heart's desire. I am letting go of the things that do not support my soul's journey. I am letting go of the things that do not support my soul's journey. I am aligned with the divine feminine and the sacred masculine coming into balance. I am aligned with the divine feminine and sacred masculine finding balance. Those are good, right? So if you look out into the world and you see, all the things going on, I just also watched a video this morning of Elon Musk, and, our world is shifting, and we can either accept it or not. But if we don't accept it, we're just going to be struggling, pushing the river, right? If we're afraid, we'll miss out on the love. So this Venus retrograde experience, this timeline, is really about aligning with your truest heart's desires. And a big thing with that is trust. Someone said to me the other day, they said, it's so interesting. I see you online and you just don't look worried about anything. You look fine. And I said, well, there's no point in worrying about anything. It's all divinely written. And so all we have to do is breathe and drop into our heart. We can ruminate and write things out and ruminate some more and overthink. I do it. And then at the end of the day, at the end of the breath is like this deep connection to source. And so my invitation to you is to like really drop into that timeline for yourself. Get your astrology chart read if you don't know where any of this lands on your chart, because it's important. Like Venus retrograde in Capricorn, that's my rising sign. I definitely want to know what's going on, right? Just do your best to spend more time in heart matters than mind matters. Just do your best. That's all you can do. I want to say thank you so much. I hope this was helpful. And again, if you do want your chart read, just reach out to me. I am going to be announcing a few things here over the holiday. Lots more time slots open for astrology readings and sound healings and healing sessions for people. Moving in that direction has proven to be really aligned with my heart. So if this is something that speaks to you, please take a look at my website at danademara.com or just reach out to me. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I look forward to seeing you somewhere on this path. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.